And what you want to do is you want to look at the wiring of your company and fix it. What is wiring? So wiring is the systems, the processes, the skills, the staff, the habits, the norms, the way people behave in a business themselves, and therefore how they perform, and add it all together, how the business performs. And at Partners in Performance, we use this term wiring very specifically. We don't use the term culture. We find that culture is very vague. It's very hard to define. It's a fine word, but if you can't measure and define things, it's sort of difficult to show how to improve them. Now, bear with me for a second. This is getting a little bit detailed. So whether you're looking over here or over here, wiring can be measured, and we measure it at 6 different levels, and I'm going to walk you up. So operating strategy. If a company has good wiring, they know what are the input KPIs. So for a mine, what are my trucks? What's my equipment utilization? What's my availability? What's my recovery rate on my process plant? And then the output KPIs. How many ounces of gold am I producing? How many tons of iron ore am I producing? You've got to know what your operating strategy is at the most fundamental level if you want to build a company that improves. Second thing is operating disciplines. What are they? What are your basic business processes? Is there a morning meeting where you look at availability of equipment? Is there a morning meeting when you look at the performance of the processing plant over the night shift? Basic business processes. And what we have to do as individuals within those processes. Thirdly, building up again, is alignment and motivation. How am I as an employee, as a person, as a CEO, as a management team member, how am I motivated to perform, and how is that aligned with other people and with the organization's objectives? I always say to CEO clients who go to analysts and say, well, we're going to do this next quarter, we're going to do this next year. I always say, well, that's absolutely fascinating, but unless your supervisors know what their role is in helping you achieve that objective, it's meaningless, because the whole organization needs to be aligned to perform. Let's build up another level, sustaining disciplines. So this is what we call closing the loop. I have an action, did I do it, did I not do it? If I didn't do it, when am I going to get it done? Just close the loop. So you do those 4 things, you'll run a pretty decent company. It won't improve much, but it'll run. To improve, you need to put in the continuous improvement disciplines. So do you have a process, a continuous process, not a one-off process, where you're actually targeting improvement, you're reporting on that improvement, and then you're prioritizing which ones you're focusing resources on? As we saw a few pages ago, if you've got 200 projects or 60 projects, the only thing we know is you won't accomplish much at all because your effort is too fragmented. And lastly, visible leadership. And that is, what are the signals, what are the messages that the leaders at all levels, so for the front line, the supervisors, for the supervisors, the managers, for the managers, the GM, for the GM, the CEO, what are the visible, consistent messages that leadership is sending? If you do all these 6 things, you cannot fail but improve your organization and improve the profitability of your organization. Small last point on this. The pretty colors you see on the sides, the bars, every client we've worked with, so this will be on a couple thousand companies over the years, we've benchmarked them on this. So we've surveyed all the employees, they've answered a series of questions, and they've rated where they are on these 6 items. And we've kept that as a database. So whenever we go to a new client, we actually say, well, this is where you are versus the benchmark. So this is a particular client, I won't say who, but was obviously in a very bad situation with very badly broken wiring. In fact, this particular one had the worst leadership we had ever seen in any company ever in the world at that particular time.